Hi booktube, Aaron here. Hope you're doing very well. Today I'm on the other side of the camera because I thought we might read something together for Poetry Thursday. Recently I've been reading this, The Complete Poems of Emily Dickinson, and in a reading update I was mentioning how I've been marking poems that stood out with asterisks for me to consider later, and I thought we'd test that. David Novak from David Novak Reads Poetry requested that I do a reading, so I thought I'd give that a try, and we'll see if the reason I marked the poem with an asterisk remains clear to me, even just a few weeks or a couple of months after I had read that poem. So this is Emily Dickinson, and I thought I'd read some of the later ones because I think in the past I've read poems that had turned up quite early on in this collection. So we're going to start off with this one here. It seems quite fitting for booktube. Number 1263. There is no frigate like a book to take us lands away, nor coursers like a page of prancing poetry. This traverse may be the poorest take, without a press of toll. How frugal is the chariot that bears the human soul. And I mean, there's obviously the delightful element of it just being about books and a love of books and the adventure of reading. But I also love, just in the last two lines, we've got this, I don't know, there's an element in the second to last line, how frugal is the chariot. There's something quite humble about it, and then that bears the human soul, and that's suddenly elevated and quite noble. I just love the way how sort of constricted, but at the same time how expansive that all feels. And then just a couple of quite interesting ones here. Firstly, 1275, which I just found quite delightful. The spider as an artist has never been employed, though his surpassing merit is freely certified by every Broom and Bridget throughout a Christian land. Neglected son of genius, I take thee by the hand. And my little annotation there, ouch it bites. But I just appreciate really the way that she's looking at something that most people see as a sign of neglect or of something you'd want to clean up, a cobweb, a spider web, and yet she sees something noble and artistic in it. So I really liked that. And then finally we'll come with one that I think I marked this one because it kind of flummoxed me. I wasn't entirely sure what to think of it. So here's 1276. 'Twas later when the summer went than when the cricket came, and yet we knew that gentle clock meant naught but going home. 'Twas sooner when the cricket went than when the winter came, yet that pathetic pendulum keeps esoteric time. And there's obviously a kind of contrast or comparison being made between the two halves of the poem, but also each couple of lines. So a sort of a contrast between the crickets turning up after the end of summer, and yet something, somehow the clock is telling people that it's time to go home. What exactly that means, is it a metaphor for something? I'm not sure. And then the last four lines again is kind of contrast to that, but also include their own kind of contrast. 'Twas sooner when the cricket went than when the winter came, so giving us a kind of boundary of when the crickets are around in the autumn time, apparently. Yet that pathetic pendulum keeps esoteric time. So there's a kind of a mysteriousness to time, something beyond us that we can't understand. And yet, at the same time, there are these seemingly natural cycles, whether it's the life cycles of insects or the seasons, the weather. I'm not entirely sure if that's all she's getting at there. She might be getting at something else entirely at the same time. But I think that one was mainly marked for being intriguing and for me not entirely understanding what she meant, which is something I'm quite happy with. And it's one of the reasons you come back to poems is to reconsider them, and whether or not you've worked out exactly what the poet is getting at in a particular poem. Sometimes time offers a fresh perspective. And so that's just a little taste of a few Emily Dickinson poems that stood out to me on this last read through, and maybe at some point in the future we'll do something similar and read 3 other poems that I'd marked out and try to work out why. So for now, thank you for watching and have a great rest of your week. Take care. Bye bye.